Hi everybody, Kira here at Unfurl, and today's video is for anybody who feels weird, different, strange, not like everybody else, isolated, doesn't fit in, doesn't have any friends. So the first thing I'm going to say is I'm not here to convince you that that's not true, because if that's your experience, then that's your experience. That's how life is for you right now. What I will say is I can totally relate to that, and I know how difficult that is and what a lonely place it is to be, because I've been there. I've spent a lot of my life feeling like I don't fit in, feeling like I'm an outsider, feeling like I just wasn't part of the in group somehow, and I kind of knew that, but I have been able to kind of successfully create a persona who has operated in the world and has managed to figure a few things out about how to appear normal. But really, internally there's been a lot of noise in here saying weird, strange, people don't really like me, all that stuff. So just know you're not alone, and it is horrible. It's absolutely a horrible place to be. So what I'd like to do in this video is to talk about ways to kind of manage yourself when you're in this place, because really it's a story about isolation. It's a story about aloneness. And if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, whatever age you are, it doesn't really matter. If your life is a reflection of the fact that you don't have any friends and you've tried and it hasn't worked out and you can see that people don't like you, then there's an aloneness here. And there's no point in me telling you, right, go out and join a club or look online for people with similar interests. There's loads of stuff like that on the internet, and I know that that's not really the answer right now. The answer is building a relationship with yourself. And there's no easy answer to this, but I do think that it's our ability to be there for ourselves when we feel like this can actually be a game changer. And what I mean by this is when we are thinking thoughts about ourselves, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I'm so weird, I'm so different, why am I not like everyone else? There's a lot of self-analysis, a lot of self-judgment, a lot of self-shaming in those thoughts that we're thinking, that are going to create feelings of anxiety, of loneliness, of despair. And when we're stuck up in those thoughts alone with ourselves, there's no circuit breaker. There's nothing, no friend who's going to come in and go, it's okay, you're amazing. And then that kind of helps us. So we kind of have to do that for ourselves. And this is why, you'll see I do go on about this quite a bit in my videos, but it is about connecting with the part of ourselves who is kind, who is compassionate, who cares deeply, who knows how to love and be there for someone. And maybe in your life you don't have people to be there for, but you can be there for yourself. So when you notice you're in these thoughts and you feel awful, think, okay, what did that lady in the video, that Unfurl lady, what did she say? Okay, so this is where you connect with the part of yourself who says, I hear you. I know how hard this is for you right now. Tell me all about it. And allow yourself to say out loud what you're feeling. So you're kind of going to swap between two parts of yourselves. So you allow the part of you that feels lonely, friendless, weird, strange, you allow that part of you to speak. And you might even allow this part of you to name your weird stuff, the things you do, the little habits you have, the thoughts that you think. And you maybe could say, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk. So you allow that part of yourself to speak. And then after 5 minutes, you move over into the other part of yourself who goes, that sounds really hard. You sound really alone right now. You sound like you're having a difficult time on your own, and it feels like nobody's there for you. And I just want you to know I'm here for you. So you kind of have to role play a little bit within yourself, because all of these parts are in you. And I'm an art therapist, so obviously I'm going to jump into a bit of art therapy. Sometimes it's hard to kind of imagine this other part of ourselves. So that's why I love putting these parts of ourselves on paper. Now, in this image that we're going to do now, little art therapy exercise, we're going to put us as the weird, lonely person in the page, on the page. And we're going to also put us as our kind of minder, carer, therapist, could we say, in the other chair, and they're going to face each other. So look, I have an old envelope here because I couldn't find any blank paper, and I got a black marker. And so on the chair, I am going to put a stick person. You don't have to be good at art. I really just need to say that you don't have to be good at art to do this. A circle with a stick and stick arms. You've just made a person. Okay, so I'm just doing a kind of very sad looking stick person sitting in a chair, feeling very weird. And I'm going to do little weird kind of vibes coming off. I'll show you this in a sec. Woohoo, tune in, it's going to be good. So I've got this little person sitting in a chair, looking a bit sad, and then what they feel is like their weirdness is kind of coming off them. And look, it's sad face. And then opposite that, we're going to do a bigger person. This is our higher self. This is the part of us who's a lot more compassionate, a lot more capable, a lot more able to hold difficult experiences. So this other person, and I'm going to give them a kind, smiling face. Why not? Because if you were sitting opposite a therapist, you'd want somebody with a kind of a warm, empathic face rather than a stern kind of you're in trouble face. That's not going to help. And the therapist is sitting in the chair opposite and is listening. And I'm going to do some love hearts coming off them towards this person because, they're not going to get up and give the client a hug or give, this sad part a hug. But they want to kind of emanate loving, caring energy to this lonely part. So there's a few love hearts kind of coming off here. And you'll see. There we go. We have the higher self part of you sitting there, kind face, emanating kindness towards this part who feels so alone, so different, so unlovable. And you're going to let each of them speak. So we're going to let the lonely part speak first. So that part speaks and you give it 5 minutes, and then you maybe point your finger at the other character on the page and you say, right, your turn, and then you allow this part to speak. And so this part has the conversation with this sad part. Now, I know that sounds a bit weird, but when we're lost in, I'm so terrible thinking, we forget, we lose sight of the bigger picture of who we are. We feel so hopeless and despairing because there is no balancing act to that stream of thought. When we make a conscious effort, okay, bring in the kind part, bring in the higher self, bring in the therapist part of me, or even you want to say the kind parent part of me, it kind of moves us into a different part of our thinking, a different mode of being. It's in you, it's already there, but you've kind of just split off those parts, and we have to actively move you into connection with that part of yourself so that you can be there for yourself in your distress. And there is something about this process of letting yourself say how it is, say how awful you feel, how weird you are, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then hear it and do it out loud, not do it in your head, actually do it out loud, as if these two are actually having a conversation. Allow this part to speak. I see you, I hear you, I know that you're feeling sad, I'm here for you, I want to hear everything. I'm not going to leave here, I'm in it with you. You talk as long as you need to. So there's something about using those kind of words that, boom, switches on that part of ourselves. And now we're a bit more in balance. Now we're not down in Gloomy Avenue by ourselves. Now we might have a bit of the gloomies, but we've got a kinder, wiser, more capable part kind of holding us in it. So yeah, I know that all sounds a bit odd and weird and maybe even a bit tricky, but isn't it worth a go? Are you sitting at home right now feeling like despairing and weird and like, how do I fix it? I don't know that there's any fixing required here. There's listening, there's understanding required, yes. And maybe there's nobody around to do that for you, but there is a part of you who can do that for you. So that's part one. The other thing I might say is you could actually try this with a real therapist. Now, there's a lot of people who won't have the finances to do that or the time, circumstances, it just may not be possible. And that's fine. But if you can, and it is definitely worth making that connection, because there's nothing like expressing all our stuff out loud and another person just going, okay, right, okay. And they don't run off screaming. There's nothing like that experience to make us feel like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Oh, maybe I'm not so terrible. It can actually change our story about ourselves when we see that another person is willing to stay in connection with us despite hearing all our weirdness. It can be very, very, very healing. But look, it's not for everybody. I know that. So if it's not for you, that's fine. Get your old envelope out and allow that part of yourself to speak to the sad part. Okay, is there anything else that I would like to say? No, not really. Just I feel for you. I really do. And I work very hard to manage that part of myself who, once I allow that part to speak, oh my God, she can go on and on. So I really have to step in sometimes and go, all right, Ciara, I could hear you're going down doom and gloom avenue there. It's okay. I'm here. And it kind of softens it. It really does. Okay, that's it. Lots of love to everybody, and I will catch up with you very soon. Bye for now.